Hold that pose. It's Sanctuary of Reality, my comic review series. Right now, it's Church and State, Chapter 41, in Cerebus, Issue 92. Audacious Tenacity, Tenacious Audacity. Bishop Powers reveals to Cerebus that the Lion of Syria has been assassinated, leaving him as the sole pontiff for the United Churches of the Living Terram, as both Eastern and Western churches are now united under his rule. Cerebus's first decree is for conquest, demanding a draft be instituted for all men over the age of 8, without weapons, and with only the dead being exempt from it. But he's reminded of the gold sphere in his possession and takes off with it to go bring about the final ascension, ignoring Bishop Powers' pleas concerning the fate of the assassin. Suddenly, a pair of men, known as Bill and Seth, knock on the door, offering to immortalize Cerebus. Most Holy's vanity is intrigued, and he stops to listen to them as they pitch him an elaborate sketch done by Seth, which will be turned into a painting. Bill convinces Cerebus to pose for the painting in an awkward and uncomfortable position, and while doing so, Most Holy's gold sphere reverts to its original state of a pile of coins. Seth admits to Bill that the finished painting will take years and won't work artistically, and nobody will pay to look at it. So Bill quickly gets him and Seth out of there, leaving Cerebus to react to the loss of his sphere and for Bishop Powers to finally get his attention. What is the identity of the assassin of the Western Church's Pope? So, this is it. The issue of Cerebus that I absolutely dislike. Not the ex-Genesis stuff, the Bible scrutinization that comes later on. I actually find all that interesting, and content-wise I find actually fascinating, though obviously tedious. Not issue 186, which is certainly controversial, but I think establishes itself well in being an op-ed piece wrapped inside of a comic book. I think it does. I think it's actually a very fine issue for what it is. I have no problems with those issues that everyone supposedly hates. It's this one that sticks out as the single issue I won't say hate, because it's still got great David Gerhardt artwork. Their work's always downright perfect, but it's a tremendously disappointing issue in my first read through, and the second time I'm reading it, it hasn't improved much. This issue is like a sandwich. The beginning and the end are great. They're bread. They're perfect. It's delicious stuff there. It's the middle part. It's like the meat has gone off. I don't know. The parody of publisher Bill Marks and artist Seth is probably the most insular of all parodies of the entire series, in my opinion. I wouldn't even know who these two were, really, unless it wasn't for the note from the president in this issue, which explains the inspiration for doing this story. It at least establishes a little bit why it was done, but the phone book is missing that aspect. So it just kind of, I don't know, it just makes it stand out like a sore thumb. When we've had parodies of relatively obscure comic-related creators before. Philgate, for instance, is based on one. But I just don't think that smarmy artist and his slimy agent makes for an interesting or memorable character in this series. Especially introduced right in the middle of far more interesting of a storyline going on. As characters, I don't care about Bill and Seth. They're just two jerks trying to rip Cerebus off. So, yeah. And guess what? They'll appear again later. Well, I don't think I mind their second appearance as much. But I guess the point of this issue is actually to be so pointless. Cerebus gets distracted by something unrelated to the final ascension, and it costs him his gold sphere. It doesn't make it any less of a disappointing issue, though, coming off of an issue where a lot gets revealed, leaving the reader excited for more, and then we get this. So, I mean, hey, they can't all be winners. But the bottom of the bottom 5 issues of Cerebus, to me, is this one. Yeah. Next time, the Dark Cootie strikes again.